Without borders, stories by the inescapably foreign.
But it sounds almost like you had a harder experience in England. Anything that was harder back in Sri Lanka for you?
Not really.
No, it was just living the life.
Life was very good. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it was very easy. Like I didn't have to do anything. I was quite, yeah, I think I'm very grateful for my family and obviously everything we had. So I came from being like, not a spoiled brat, but like just having a very different experience, to what I had in the UK. So it was a lot to kind of learn and adapt very quickly because, having to have a job, then full-time university, living in another country. I remember my first day, like it was literally the end of June, and, obviously that's summertime. And I was still wearing a jumper because it was too cold for me. That I was obviously not used to that. Like I remember like one of the first times I saw snow, I was working in a shop in Argos. Don't know if you've heard of it. And the manager let me go outside and see the snow while I was working because I've never seen it before. Like, so there was a lot of different things that I got to experience because of that. But I think it's also made me who I am today because of those experiences. Otherwise, would have been a very, very different, not in a negative way, but would have been a different person.
Yeah, because it sounds in Sri Lanka, you came from a very privileged background. When you moved to the UK, do you feel like that privilege was stripped away at all, or?
Yeah, I think that was quite a strange thing because even when I was little, we've traveled quite a bit. Like my parents always like traveling, so we've been to like Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, like a lot of Asia. But it was my first time outside of Asia, and it was the first time I experienced racism towards me in a way that I never expected that because obviously coming from that kind of well-off background to then people calling you a suicide bomber or asking if you lived in the jungle, it was like I didn't expect that, and that was quite a very strange experience, I would say.
And did that racism just come from everyday people, or did you experience any systemic racism in the bureaucracy or the immigration process?
Yeah, I mean, it was from both sides. I think, from people, I think, people inherently, like as human beings, when we are faced with something we are not used to, we obviously put our defenses up. And certain people, that defense mechanism could be aggression. For some people, it could be just hiding away from it. Or some people would be like, oh, not sure, let's try and find out more. So different people react differently. But I think when you're completely not used to it and given all the things that's happening in the world, people, obviously you probably heard of it, like a lot of people saying, oh, people are coming here to take my jobs, that kind of thing. And I think often that ends up going out as racism or aggression and doesn't go down well. But then some people have been quite nice and saying, hey, oh, look, and I remember like my neighbors were so lovely to me, like they're like, oh, every morning they'll come and say good morning. And we became very, very friendly. And like, even like I was babysitting their kids afterwards, so it was quite different in the way different people were. I think it's just sad sometimes when people react in that kind of aggressive or kind of, just completely closing it out kind of behavior. But from an immigration point of view, it's tough. It is very, very hard.
Because Sri Lanka became independent in 1940,
48.
1948.
Yeah, just a year after India. So India got it in 47. It was, so I mean, the thing is like we're still part of the Commonwealth. So in theory, we should have more benefits in it. But I think a lot of these benefits go one way rather than two ways.
Yeah.
And